Hey, it's Bradley J. Getting ready to talk to my boy Marco because it is time for the Bradley J and Marco show, what we call really just saying. So, Marco, I'm just saying, there we go. I like it. Where are you at today?
I'm sitting outside on the balcony again. I switched up the angles though this time. So I got a different background, but just hanging out at the apartment on the balcony. What about you? Where are you at? In the normal spot?
In the normal spot, just hanging out. This is my StreamYard video spot where it's where I come to. Let me ask you this. I don't think we've talked. We talked before Mother's Day. Mother's Day is in the past now. What'd you get your mom and how'd it go?
It went really well. I got my mom some lunch. We went out and I treated her to some lunch with the grandkids and my older brother. So a nice kind of family Mother's Day get together. And then, but that was just on Saturday. Sunday, we went to nephew's soccer game. My roommate came in town who has actually kind of grown into a family member over the last 5 years. And so he took us out to breakfast and treated my mom to another Mother's Day meal. But she really played as grandma this past weekend with the grandkids having a lot of sporting events, which is nice for me because I feel like that's what the grandkids are for an uncle's purpose. It's like, all right, guys, you take away some of the pressure that's on the uncles and aunts. You guys, you can be kids. You can still be kids with our mom, which is good for her because she looks at me and she doesn't see 23-year-old Marco. She sees 8-year-old Marco, little innocent Marco,
So it
which
was a good
isn't
time.
true anymore.
No, so your mom enjoyed herself on Saturday and Sunday on Mother's Day weekend. She enjoyed herself.
She did. She got the best gift. She said she got the best gift that we could give her, which was time.
Cool, very nice. We took my mom. We met. My two sisters and I met in Salina. We went to a restaurant. It's like Demure or something like that. Steak and sushi place. My mom tried sushi for the first time. She tried to bite it instead of taking it all at once, so it kind of crumbled in her hand. And my sister had to say, "No, you eat the whole thing at once." My mom ate it, and she was like, we were like, "Do you like it?" And she's like, "It's okay." She goes, "I wouldn't order it. It's okay." And then after, mom wanted to go and buy some plants, some flowers, and that was her gift. I was going to buy her the flowers that she wanted to plant in her yard. So we went there, and then we got up to the counter, and I decided that since my sisters were there too, and they bought flowers for everybody. It was just my Mother's Day gift to all of the moms in my immediate family. So, and then I even bought me a plant. So we're gonna see if I can keep that alive. And then we went and had ice cream at Bogey's in Salina. So it was a good Mother's Day. And I called my mom. It was her birthday on the day after Mother's Day, and called her, sang her happy birthday. I sing happy birthday to all my family members. I call them up. Sometimes I make up words to the happy birthday song, but I sing it to them. And I called up saying happy birthday to my mom, and then we were talking a little bit. We didn't have a whole lot to say to each other because we talked on Saturday. And then she told me, she goes, it was the best 2 days that she's had in a while. So it was good. It was all good, man.
Aw, that's so sweet. I'm glad. I'm glad to hear. I saw the Facebook Live when you guys were at the flower shop. Glad
Yeah.
to hear that you broke the wallet. You weren't afraid to break the wallet open because you kept going around like, how much does that cost, mom? How much does that cost, mom? How much is that plant? Hold up.
It was. Flowers are expensive. It was busy too, man. I didn't know people. I had no idea that gardening. I knew gardening was big, but just like when you go and that Saturday, there's just people everywhere, man, buying flowers. It was a good time. It was fun, man. It was fun. I always love putting my mom on the spot in social media. So if you follow me on social media, you can look for my mom being every time I'm with her, being somehow, some way in my social media. And speaking of social media, Marco, I wanted to kick off just saying today. I don't know if you heard this. This was like last week. I read the story. The headline is Twitter will now reprimand you for nasty replies. You're a big Twitter guy. Had you heard about this?
I had not heard about it. Reprimand, but does that mean like suspending your account or suspending you from Twitter, like for
Okay,
good?
here it is. This is how it works. I'll read from the story. Um, the algorithm can only here's a breakdown. The algorithm can only detect curse words or hateful remarks in English.
Hmm.
Now, once it detects your unsavory word or words, it will ask you to reconsider sending the tweet. You can then delete, you can edit, or if you meant what you, or it says you can delete, edit, or if you meant what you said, you can still send the tweet. Okay? The platform is still working out the kinks between a mean reply, sarcasm, and friendly banter. In early testing, the platform found that when prompted, when told, do you want to change this or not send it, 34% of people changed their response. Okay, since you know the whole thing, what do you think of that?
I think that's excellent for Twitter to bring in a editing thing. I think that it has its good stuff, it has its good reasons, but I think there's also some things that may be interesting with it. Thus, as what if someone tweeted out something that they were truly meant, but it received a lot of backlash because of what they said, and they did change it? Then are we to believe that that person really um, believe like they are we to believe that that person truly changed it because they want because they in the because they deep down they felt that they had to, that they listened to the replies and they're like, all right, I have to change it. I did not mean anything by anything in the way that it was taken, an apology statement, that kind of thing, versus did they just change it because a bunch of people got on them? And then sometimes we do see that issue where people delete their tweet.
Right. I think though, I don't think it gets sent out. I think Twitter like looks at it. There's like a mean word or a curse word or
Mm,
something like that. They see it and then they go, "Hey, do you really think that you want to send this?" And then they ask them and they're like, "Do you want to send it?" And then the person, I don't think they get to send it out and then take it back. I think Twitter, I think the way I read it is that Twitter looks at it, they see it, and they say, "Hold on, this is a curse word. Are you sure you want to say?" I'm not sure they don't say, "Hey, do you want to change?" But they're like, this has got language that you may not want to send out. Da, da, da. And then they send it back to you, and then they go, "Do you really want to send this?" And then like if you have time to cool off, you're like, "Okay, you're right. I didn't want to put this in there." And then they send it out. I don't think it gets sent out, and then you get to bring
gotcha.
it back. Like if you send it out, it's out there, but Twitter will catch it before if you say something mean, derogatory, or something like that. Here's my thing: have you ever said something on Twitter, like sent something out, and then like later on you're like, "Oh, I regret that."
Not in like a yeah, yes, I have, but it wasn't like a deep regret or anything. It was just more of like, all right, I guess that tweet was kind of stupid. I need to delete it. Oh, it didn't get any likes. Not even one person liked it. Like, all right, I guess it was a dumb joke.
So
That's
here's the
a,
thing. So you said like people didn't like it. Do you send tweets out just to get people to like your tweet or respond to it?
no. I just tweet. I just tweet the tweet sometimes, but I'll delete it if it doesn't really get any attention. And other than that, I don't tweet as much. I'm big on retweeting, and it's kind of cool because Twitter now, it's this thing kind of sounds similar to what they did with their retweet option, where like if I was to retweet an article, it would ask me, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to retweet this? Have you read about what's in the article before you retweeted it?" And I think that was something that they that so what you're talking about sounds very similar to what they did with their retweet option just a few months ago.
I saw, and Facebook I think is rolling that out too. Facebook is going to, because I think Facebook and no, it's Facebook and Instagram. But anyway, Facebook's going to do the same thing. They're going to be like, "Listen, have you before you repost this and share it? Do you know what's in it? Do you know everything that's going on?" Then that way you're sharing information that isn't, what do they call it? Like, is it a fraud or fake or whatever like that?
Fake news type
Yeah,
thing, yeah, fake
yeah.
news. And I understand that. I think that's a good initiative by both social media platforms, because you can't believe everything you read on the internet, and Facebook has had a lot of trouble the last few years with fake news being posted and um, kind of circled around on their platform. Now it sounds like that each one, both Twitter and Facebook, are um, taking precautions and trying to better and make their platforms more legit, so that they're not having any of those problems.
Yeah. See, I'm not a big retweeter. Like I don't
Yeah.
retweet a lot. I'll go through it, and like it's not like Instagram and TikTok. Like I can just keep scrolling down because I'm just like, okay, there's something else. But on Twitter, man, it just gets it gets depressing. And then so I had to go through my Twitter and start looking. I'm just like, okay, I'm not following that person. I'm like, so I just know who that is, and I've seen what they post, and it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't inform me, doesn't educate me. It just makes me feel like I'm just like, oh, why am I following this person? It's just like Instagram. I did that too. I went into Instagram and I was like, don't need to follow this person, this person, this person. I was just like, you know what? It's just not good, man. It's just not good. I want to move over to something else. Because you were talking about the weekend, kind of correlates. Like you were with your family, you got together. This is also kind of about getting together with family. I just saw in my Facebook memories my niece. It was a few years ago because she's 21, so it'd have been like what 3 years ago. She was 18. She graduated high school. Of course, I want to make as much noise at a graduation as I possibly can when she crosses the stage, and so I did, and I got my niece, her sister, to do the same thing. We all yelled, Kinsey! And this next question is: I had a friend of mine, him and his wife were at a graduation, and the person they have whoever is in charge of this graduation, superintendent or principal or whatever,
master of ceremonies,
yeah, had gotten up and said, he goes, please hold your applause till the end. Because and you hear that, right? At graduations, at different things like that, you hear that, hey, hold your applause till the end. Which I'm like, no one's going to do that, first of all. It's nice of you to say that, but no one's doing that. And so, and it was funny because my friend he was going to wait and do that, but his wife was like, no, I wrote this down just so I would read it right off the quote. The wife said, she goes, I'm proud of my son. I don't care. I'll scream if I want to. So here's my question. If you're at an event and they tell you, please hold your applause till the end, what is Marco doing? It's someone you know, it's a family member, they're getting ready to receive an award, graduation, whatever. What is Marco doing? Is he making noise? Is he getting rowdy? Is he letting his voice be heard? Or is he going to be one of those people that waits till the end and applauses for everyone? What are you doing, Marco?
Heck no. If I hear that at a graduation, I'm just like, all right, thanks for. I feel like that's just like I feel like that person is just doing it just so they said, all right, hey, I said it. I feel like even them saying it, they know it's like, all right, what I'm telling you is a lie. And so what I hear from him is like, all right, you just lied to all of our faces then. So thank you for that. But no, I'm definitely cheering. Having being the third sibling, I went to 2 high school graduations before my own, and it was the same way for my older brothers, just yelling loud, and we're just happy that they made it across the stage. They graduated high school. We can't pay all our parents can't pay all this money just to be told they can't cheer for their child. Like that's insane.
Okay, let me ask you this. What about not graduation, but what about at an awards ceremony where we had an athletic banquet, okay, where people got letters, they got pins and stuff like that. If they told you to wait and applause till the end at an awards banquet, would you do the same thing, or would you get loud? Like, would you get loud and crazy, or would you wait till the end if they told you?
I get. How big's the room? Because usually graduation room is big. I would still clap. I'd still cheer. You know what? Whatever. It's still like, there's a butt to it. What if? Hold on.
What if? Oh man, I had it. What if? Oh darn, I can't remember what I was going to say. I had a what if too. I had a just saying.
You were just saying, and then it left the building.
Gosh darn,
you were gonna say.
I was gonna say. I was just saying, and now I'm gonna say. Yeah, I can't remember now. Because you said small room, and I was like, wait, I have a question. But what if it was like
small room?
What if it was a class? What if it was like, hey, this is a senior, like, hey, here's the freshman class, and here's the people that lettered and got awards, and then it was just, and then like they had them stand up there. Then I would wait.
I would wait, but I think the big thing is if I have a family member that's getting rewarded or not. Right. So like if it's a school event and I'm there, and friends if it's just people that I know that didn't sound right either. Let me try to find the right words. Because friends are people that I do know. No, if it's not friends or family, and they tell me to wait towards the end, I'm like, all right, I gotta wait towards the end. I'll do the clap or whatnot. Friends or family, though, it's the whole hoopla, hoopla.
There's just certain people that you cheer for, and there's certain people that you're kind of like, yeah, and then there's others you're like, yeah. I do want to mention. I thought that was interesting though, because I'm just kind of the person, like, especially when that video showed up today, and I saw my niece, I was like, oh no, I'm not that person that sits back at all. New
I was
TV
gonna
shows.
say also, I noticed you had sat towards the top two in your video. Was there anyone
Yeah.
around you?
There were people below us, yeah, that were, and
Okay.
they didn't turn around. Usually, I warn people. I'm like, hey, my niece is graduating, so that's why I'm here. So it might be a little loud, just so you know. Most people are pretty cool about it, especially when you tell them. You know, they're like,
Good.
oh yeah, we're kind of like that too. New TV shows. I do want to talk to you. Netflix. For me, Netflix has been killing it with their original programming. For me personally, there was Shadow and Bone. Are you watching
Yeah.
that? Do you like
No,
it?
I hadn't started it, but I did start a new Netflix show today.
What?
The Serpent.
Serpent.
The Serpent. It's kind of a crime investigative limited series. That's the key word. That's the key word for it. It's a limited series on Netflix. So
Okay.
check it out. Check it out if you want. Mom recommended it. It was what she was watching this last week. That was her guilty pleasure on the television. But I was scrolling through all the new Netflix content that they had just put up while I was looking for The Serpent.
They have a lot.
And
They have a lot. The other one I'm watching. The other one I'm watching is. Oh, I can't hear. What? No. The other one I'm watching is Jupiter's Legacy. It's about superheroes. It's really good though. It's like that was. I watched it. Did you watch it?
no, that I saw that though. I said that's the queue. I put it in the queue because it looks good.
Okay.
So is it funny? Is it
No,
kind
it's
of
not funny. It's kind of.
oh
It's a little. It's a drama. It's a little dark. It's not. It's a little dark. Not like dark. It's a little. But it's a good. It's a good show, man. It's a good show. Um. Also, did you? I have to ask before we move on to my next question that I have for you today. Did you embrace the HBO show Nevers yet, or did you put that by the wayside?
I put it by the wayside. It's still sitting there. I did see that you had posted about it yesterday or 2 days ago. If I'm correct, you got the powers now. Apparently, you have the powers that the Nevers
What do you-
have.
I do not know. I wish. I wish I did. It's kind of cool. In the story, actually, this last episode, what I thought was going to happen didn't happen, so it threw me like a twist, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, that's good." And there's only one episode left, so we're getting ready. I'm getting ready for that. That's on Sunday.
Maybe I'll pick it back up since all the episodes are out now. It's easier for me to watch a show all the way through when all the episodes are there rather than week by week, which is kind of funny because like that was TV growing up was you had to wait week by week. I have definitely immersed into the binge watching culture.
You're Marco the binge watcher. Question, not a story, just a question. Did you ever buy something that you had no idea how to use? And if so, what was it?
Just bought it for looks.
No, just I mean, no, it was something that was going to that you bought that you were going to use, but then you didn't figure out how to use it.
Man, I don't know. Has that happened to you?
I want to say it has, but I cannot tell you what it was. Like I bought something, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and then I was just like, "I can't. Why did I buy this? I can't even use it. I don't even know how to use it."
So,
Like,
what I won't ask which store it was purchased.
no, I mean,
No.
in the past, like I bought something, and all of a sudden, I was just like, I mean, I bought some things where I bought it, and then I used it once and never used it again, and I'm just like, why do I have this?
No.
You know, like
So,
I haven't had a bottle of wine for a while, so I almost forgot how to use a corkscrew. So I had to go out and buy a bottle of wine just so I remembered how to do it.
and did you remember? Got
Yeah,
it.
and the bottle of wine is gone after 3 days. Boom. no more bottle of wine. It was gone there. All right. Well, I wanted to ask. I wanted to
Well,
ask.
no, I did think of something. I got a bunch of disc. So this during the pandemic, my brother got me into disc golf. He took me disc golf with him a few times because he had gotten into it, and so I said, "All right, I'll go do it with you." And so the first couple of times were really fun. That I bought my own discs. Well, since
Ah,
then, I've only used them like 2 or 3 times since since purchasing them. And fun fact: buy your disc used. Do not buy new discs. Buy if you're going to be going into disc golfing. Buy your used disc. So if you choose to quit like me, you don't feel ashamed about the $60 you invested.
here's something that when I buy something, I make sure that I use it. Like I bought an elliptical. All right, it was $1,200. So it's sitting in my apartment. So every time I see it, it's not that hey I got to work out, or which I do. I got onto it and I enjoy it. But every time I look at it, I'm like, you spent money on it, use it. Like you spent $1,200 on an elliptical, use that thing. And so like it sits in my living room. You've seen it, you've been over, and I'm like,
Yep.
because people are like, do you really use that? And I'm like, why? I wouldn't spend that kind of money to not use it. Like that's ridiculous to spend that kind of money, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, there's $1,200 out. Like it could be in my savings account. I'm like, no, I used it because I needed it to be healthy because I have high blood pressure. I need to exercise. I don't want to. I don't want to gain a lot of weight. I want to try to like. I mean, my mom said I look like I lost weight. Also, I bought $1,000 bicycle, and people are like, "You don't ride that? Do you ride that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I ride it. Why would I buy it if I'm not going to ride it?" Like, and that's what every time I walk by it, I'm like, I'm praying for the weather to be over 70 so I can go out and ride my bike. Because I bought a bike, I bought a bike rack to put on the back of my car. I bought like
Are you going to
bicycle.
use that though?
Yeah, I am because anywhere I used to have to set it in my car, and it's easier
Yeah.
to put the rack on the back of the car and then set the bike on it. So then when you go, and if it's a long travel, I don't have to have it in my car. I can like if I go back to my mom's house, so I'll for the weekend I can take my bike with me, get up, ride it around town or out to the lake, which is 16 miles or whatever, and ride back or 8 miles or whatever it is. But yeah, so I'm like, I buy these things and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna. It's like more like an investment for me when I buy something like that because I look at it, and I'm like, I'm investing in my health to keep me semi-healthy, like as healthy as I want to be. Like people are like,
Yeah.
oh, do you ride it? Then people take it to the extreme. They're like, you don't ride it. And I'm like, I ride it, and they're like, do you ride it a lot? I'm like, no. Well, how much do you ride it? I'm like, it's none of your business how far I ride it. Like it's, yeah, I
We
got a
have this.
bicycle.
This is why I'm cracking up because we have a love hate relationship with answering dumb questions. It's like, wait, well, why did you go buy McDonald's? Because I was hungry. Well, why did you go buy McDonald's? Because I wanted McDonald's.
Yeah, why didn't you
Why
go
did
to
you get a
Wendy's?
cheeseburger?
Why didn't you go to Burger King? Why didn't you go to this? Like because I didn't want to. Like are you eating this food? No. Then why do you care where I went and what I'm eating? Nobody. Stop it. And I know
Why didn't you?
I probably
Why
asked
didn't you buy
dumb
your mom
questions.
flowers from Mother's Day? She doesn't like flowers.
She wanted to plant them instead. What do you care? What do you care? Wow. But it's funny though because people give me a hard time. They're like, because when I was a kid, like I did not exercise. Like I didn't start
Yeah.
exercising like until I got into like my late 20s. I was just like, because I mean, I could eat, as a kid, you burn a lot of calories and stuff. And then I liked running. I used to run, and then my knees and my back get it was like running's not good for your knees or your back. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay. Then I got a bicycle. I have two bicycles. If anybody wants a bicycle, I will sell you my second bicycle. It still works. I just like my new one that I bought better. But and then I was just buying, and then I realized so I bought the bicycle, right, the new one,
Yeah.
and then I realized okay, then there's like upkeep. You got to keep it clean. It's not like when you're a kid. Like you get a bicycle as a kid, your dad like fixes it, or you mess around with it. When a chain comes off, you get all greasy, and nowadays it's like you get all greasy. I'm just like, oh man, I gotta clean this off, and I can't. I don't really have a place to work out on it because it's in my apartment. And so I'm now,
Yeah.
and I bought like a camel pack that you put on. It has you can put water in it, and you can drink it. There's a little tube that comes up and you pull it. But I bought that. It's expensive. It's like an expensive hobby, is what it is. But I love it, man. My goal is to ride 50 miles. I've ridden this year already. I went to Dover and back, so I rode 26 miles. So I just got to go a little bit further and then come back. If you ever want to go bike riding with me, 50 miles, let me know.
Is that an open invite to anyone, or is that just for me?
Just for you. I know you. I don't know. You know, I'm out on the road with some stranger. Who knows what's going to happen? You know, you got to practice safety.
Don't want to. You don't want to start like a bike club, like how Forrest Gump started like a running club.
We'll start with me and you, and we'll call it good, and then we'll just expand from there. I actually, I enjoy riding the bike, man. I get out on the highway when I was riding there, and it's peaceful, you know, until a car comes by, and it's boom, and then they're gone. But it's peaceful. It's nice. It's relaxing for me. I mean, I like it. I really do. I like riding the bike, man. I like riding the bike. Speaking,
have you had any problem with drivers recently, or been good?
I mean, that's good. There's people that I don't know how close they are because it goes by so fast. I mean, you feel like I haven't got anybody that tried to run me over or run me off the road. I figure if they do, I'm like, well, you know, what am I going to do? I'm on a bicycle. I'm going to be in the hospital or dead, one or the other. I'm like,
you're going to meet. You're going to meet him in the hospital. That's what you tell him. I'm going to meet you in the hospital.
Yeah, I'll see you sometime. I don't know. I mean, not really. Most people do get over. You know, if there's not a car coming, and I try to stay as close to the side of the road as I try to, because I know I'm a hindrance on. I feel like I'm the hindrance on the road, even on a bicycle. I'm just like, hey, it's not really. You don't see bicyclists on the road every day, you know. But most people do. They get over. They're very courteous. They're very kind, generous to get over. So I appreciate that. All right. Before we wrap this up, do you have it's getting this time. Around this time, I had friends of mine, still friends, still good friends, love them to death. They helped me out in between jobs one time. They're kind. Stevie and Tandy are their names. They live in, I won't say where they live, but they live in Manhattan. Why not? But they have a boat, and they would every once in a while they would say, hey, come out on the boat with us, man. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I'm the type of person. Am I sure? You know, is there family members coming? You know what? I'd be the last one to be on your boat. Like if you need me, not to, if you invite me and say, hey, we got other, you know, family coming. I'll be like, that's cool. You know, I don't have a boat. I'm good with that. But they would invite me out on their boat. They would feed me, and I got to thinking. I was like, I wonder if Marco, because you're young, you're in your 20s, yeah. This is the prime time for you. You just got out of college. So did you ever have a friend when you were in college or now that has a boat where they would be like, hey, Marco, come on, man, we're going out boating. Let's go.
No, I don't. We were the boat family. We were the boat family growing up. Yeah, we did have a boat. We did have a family boat. Our good family friends, we would go camping. They had a boat too, and so we would go camping in our campers, and then out in Clinton, and we'd go out on Clinton Lake with the boats. So we had boats growing up. I don't know if my brother has a boat still or not, but he'd be the guy I'd go hang out with if I wanted to go out on a boat.
Okay, so here's
boat friends are good friends to have.
They are very good friends, especially if you treat them right. I'm glad you said that because they are cool to have. It's cool to have friends with boats, but I came across boating rules. So I want to run these down for you because you know when you go on a boat, you just can't. There are things that you need to do. There are things that you need to remember. Like I would never end up at Tandy and Stevie's house with people with me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like that. But somebody goes, "Oh, hey man, I hear you going with Tandy and Stevie out on the boat. Do you think I can go?" And I'm like, "You need to ask them. Like I'm not. You're not going with me. Like I'm not inviting you because they invited me. It's not my right for them to invite me and then me go, oh hey, 3 other people are coming along too. That ain't cool. All right, no. So I'm not that person. So I would never. If they said, hey, you can bring someone, then I'd be like, oh okay, thanks. You know, probably not. I'm probably not going to find someone to go with. But hey, yeah, you know, cool. So here's some boating rules I want to lay on people. Okay. And here's the thing too. I do want to put this up. I would love to hear from you about if you agree or disagree with these boating rules and what boating rules do you have. Love to hear from you. Email us at bradleyj@94country.com. So I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Okay. So, we don't go back early to drop off or pick up. Like if you're out on the boat and then all of a sudden you're like, hey man, Like I forgot my sunglasses in my car, and you're already across the lake. Too bad. You're out of luck. You're not wearing sunglasses the whole day. You should have picked them up before you got in the boat. So you never go back early or drop off or pick up. Agree?
I love that. Yes, that's a good one to have.
Okay, next one is don't bring any random people without prior consent of the boat owner, which we just talked about.
Yes, that is a good one to have as well. Two great rules to start off.
So did you ever, like when your mom and dad had the boat? So my parents had a boat when we were I don't even really remember it. I kind of do, but like we were too young to invite our friends on mom and dad's boat. But they got rid of it before we had a chance to really use it as young people. Which I'm if there's one thing I'm disappointed about in my dad, it's that. It's like, why didn't you keep the boat and the pickup you had so that when I became a teenager, 16, I could take it out with me? My cousins had a boat, which I went out on, which was
Yeah.
cool, but my dad never did. And my dad, he was just like, you didn't pay for it, you know?
I love it because that's the same answer that I feel like our parents would give if we wanted to, like, hey, it's all right if I invite so and so to come on the boat, and they're like, yeah, you can invite him, but who's gonna drive the boat? Who's gonna get the boat to the lake?
Who's going to pay for gas? That's the other thing. When it comes to being invited out on a boat, and I have to say, I would forget. And I'd be, because they'd go fill up with gas, and I'd be like, oh, crap. So then the next time I'd be, here's like $20, but really $20 in a boat, I don't know. I don't know how much. I know it costs a lot because when you get gas at the marina, like they up the charge like everywhere. I mean that where else are you going to get gas when you're in a boat? So, but you need to pay for gas. And so I got in the habit of doing that, like giving them some money for, and then of course, Stevie and Tandy are saying, don't worry about it. It's like, no. You guys take the time to call me to go out on your boat with your family and, other people. I'm going to kick in. And then, like my thing is like, you kind of look around about people who aren't kicking in. It's like, who's this person? And I will say, I didn't do it every time.
They don't know the rules.
Yeah. And you brought your own drink with you. That's the other thing. Bring your own beer or whatever it is you're drinking when you're invited on a boat. Don't show up empty handed. Bring, if you got food, like I would bring my own chips. They had some hamburger one time, and and I was like, do I need to bring anything? What do I need? What do you guys need that you don't have that I can bring? Just let me know. And so bring your own beer, bring your own drink. And the number one boating rule, and this is what I liked about Stevie and Tandy, is because when they said we're leaving at 10:30 or whatever time it was, they left at 10:30. Like if you showed up late, you weren't going to the lake that day. Show up on time, which I love because I hate being late anywhere. I'm usually 10, 15 minutes early anywhere. I'm always like, I don't want to be late. I'd rather be early than I would late. So if you have boating friends out there and you're wondering, why last year did they not invite me out on the boat? It's because you weren't on time. Be on time. Yes, pay for gas, bring food, do these things. Don't invite other people. That's why you're not going on a boat. Maybe not this summer either. I just wanted to lay that on people because it's springtime. Boating season is kicking in. I've seen people hauling boats. So boating rules to live by. Don't do any of those things, and do all of those things, and don't forget. Don't forget, man. I forgot to ask you. Is there anything? I don't have 3 questions for you to ask today. So I'll let you wrap up the show today with anything you want.
Well, as it begins to start raining on my laptop, and the problems with doing outdoor, being remote outside, you get the lawnmower across the street and rain from the outside. You talked about going and buying flowers and people buying flowers right around this time. Did your guys' school never do like a flower sale? Did you guys ever have to sell like magazines or cookie dough for the schools? Because our flower sale was something that was a big hit in May each year at my grade school growing up.
That's a good idea, man. If there's somebody who needs an idea to make money for a school, a flower sale, that's a great idea. We sold candles one year, and I think we sold magazines a couple years, but nothing. We were a small school. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did a little salesmanship when I was younger. I wasn't very good at it, but I tried. I tried
Did
my
you ever,
best.
did you ever do Boy Scouts popcorn?
I tried Boy Scout. I did Boy Scouts for like a week, and I was like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Would you? Is there enough money in the world for you if someone said, Bradley, here's a blank check, put whatever number you want there, but you have to go live on Mars? Is
I
there
have to go
enough money in the
live.
world for you to go live on Mars?
There's nothing to buy on Mars. Like it's just a planet. Like what am I? Where am I? I mean, so I have all the money I can, but I can't spend it on anything. Like, is there a PlayStation 5 store up there where I can get a PlayStation and games? Is
You
there
are
like
a part of the new civilization up there. I'm assuming that you're living in some, you know, village or environment that was placed on Mars. So assuming that there is like a campus, I guess, where store or a Best Buy on Mars that was transported from Earth, maybe you could get a PlayStation.
so? Let's
Maybe
just
you
say
could take all your stuff with you. You could take if you got to take your stuff with you too, because you can't live outside of Mars. You got to be inside.
True.
I feel
So
like.
so basically, I have all the money I want and just the necessities to be alive. Like no entertainment or anything like that. So I mean, like food, water. So and I'm the richest man. I'd be the richest man up there.
There's people there. There's other humans because they had to establish civilization
That's what I'm saying.
before
I'm
you
saying
went to.
there's other people there, but they didn't get the same deal as I did, right? I got to
No,
write
they
a
paid
blank
to go.
check. They paid to go.
Yeah,
Okay,
they
so
paid
they're
to go.
poor. So they're poor, and I'm rich. So people will be looking for me for money. And I have to live up there until I die.
Yeah,
And
gotta go
I'm
to
this
Mars.
age. I'm this age, right? I'm 55.
Yeah, you are who you are now. Yes. Is there a way that this deal would work where would you do it at 20 years old? It's like,
Not at 20.
yeah,
Because if it's just the necessities to live, like food, water, air, you know what I mean? Like there's no amenities. Like there's no, like, I can't build a mansion up there with a swimming pool and drive a Ferrari
maybe
or.
maybe you can when Mars is like the next Earth where
There's
there's
no guarantee, but there's no guarantee, not guarantee me that Mars will be like Earth. I could go up there and Mars could just disappear. It could be
right.
blown up by an asteroid. I mean, so what's the point of going up there with all that money and not having anything to spend it on? I mean, there's some
You
deep
can spend it at
thought
the
going.
Mars snack bar.
That's true. I can always get my Reese's peanut butter cups. That's a plus. That's a plus. I do like that. I do like Reese's. Um, yeah, that's a good question, man. So basically, I don't know. It's things like that. Like I love asking questions and being asked a question. I just don't answering them. Where it's like if I answer it, like I have to do it. You know what I mean? Like so,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna walk out tomorrow morning. I'm gonna wake up and there'll be an email to be like, Bradley J, this is NASA, and we'd like to know if you'd like to write a blank check to go live on Mars. And I'd be like, how did Marco know? Like I gotta make the decision.
then you would have to know if I'm actually right about this, then you would have to take the money and give half of it to me.
I'd take you with me. I'd be like, here's the condition. I'll write how much money I want, but you got to get Marco to go with me. I'll be like, who's Marco? It doesn't matter. If you want me to go live on Mars for all the money I want, taking Marco with me. I need someone to hang out with.
So not even all. So there is no amount of money in the world that can get you to go to Mars right now. Then, because you just said
I can't come back to Earth, right?
Nope, you are stuck there.
And then because there's nothing. I mean, like people would be like, oh, I have all the money. I'm like, yeah, but you can't buy anything.
You'll have. Did you ever watch? Your funeral will be like Spock's. You'll be shipped out of a spaceship. Isn't that what happened to him? I didn't watch Star Trek.
Oh yeah, he got they had a funeral and then they shot him to a planet that was Rebirth. There's a planet something I don't have all the technical terms to it, but they put him down on this planet that got reborn because something happened. And then what happened down there happened to him, and he came back to life.
So that's how it happened.
Yeah, but see, like, can I do investments on Earth? Can I send there's a lot of stipulations that go into it. You know what I mean? Like
you can just
Give me a boatload of money, send me to Mars, call it good.
Yes, you can wire your money. Yes, you can.
Oh, man. Well, my nieces and nephews would be well off then. I wouldn't. They'd be like, "Oh, Uncle Bradley is great. Where does he live again? He's on Mars. With what? Nothing. Oh, thanks for the money, Uncle Brad. Yeah, you're welcome. Wish I could have spent it on myself, but no, Marco put me on Mars just to hang out here.
No, and then,
Ah! I'd be like this, floating in Mars. Hey, I'm rich, like Elon Musk.
you went
Take
to the
that.
moon. You got shot to the moon.
Yeah, Melinda Gates, what are you doing? Let's hook up. All right, man. Melinda Gates, if you're out there, call me. Email me, BradleyJ at 94country.com. I'm a good time, man. I'm a good time. Not looking for anything. Just talk, chat.
And you're both rich, so
That's right.
it's not for
We are.
money.
That is true. That is exactly true. Marco, always fun. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk again on Tuesday.
Yes, see you later, Bradley.
Bradley J and Marco. Just saying.